You ever had that one coworker? The one who somehow does nothing, but still gets away with everything? I did. His name was Seth. And after 6 months of being his personal work mule, I decided enough was enough. What happened next? Let's just say Seth finally learned what happens when laziness meets karma. If you've ever had a boss who didn't notice the truth, or a coworker who dumped their responsibilities onto you, you're going to love this. Hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because this is one of the most satisfying workplace revenge stories you'll ever hear. I work in an office, a pretty normal corporate job, the kind where every day feels like déjà vu. Endless emails, spreadsheets, reports. And like most offices, we have that guy. Ours was a man I'll call Seth. Now let me paint the picture. Seth is the coworker everyone knows, and everyone secretly resents. He strolls in late, coffee in hand, with some tired excuse about traffic. Then he disappears for bathroom breaks every 10 minutes, or sits at his desk scrolling through his phone like Instagram is his full-time job. But the worst part? Seth was a master at making other people do his work. At first, I didn't notice. He'd send these casual little emails. Hey, can you just help me out with this project? I'm swamped. And like the team player I am, I helped. But helping quickly turned into doing everything. And Seth, he would stand in meetings, present the work I'd done, and soak in the praise, like a vulture eating off someone else's plate. At first, I told myself, don't make waves. Just be professional. But the more it happened, the more it burned. Imagine this. It's 9 p.m., you're still at the office, sweating over a spreadsheet. Meanwhile, Seth's probably at home, feet up, binging Netflix, while your name doesn't even make it onto the report. I started to feel like I was invisible. Like I wasn't just undervalued, I was being used. And here's the kicker. I tried talking to my boss. Twice. But Seth always managed to weasel out of it. He'd smile, make some joke, blame miscommunication. My boss would nod along. And somehow I ended up looking like the one overreacting. The final straw came one Thursday morning. Seth dropped a massive client report on my desk. Due in just 2 days. No heads up, no explanation. Just a lazy shrug and, hey, you're better at these anyway. Can you handle it? That was the moment something inside me snapped. I wasn't just angry. My chest felt tight, my stomach in knots. My thoughts were racing. He's not just lazy. He's disrespecting me. He's spitting on the hours I've sacrificed. And then, I remembered something. A week earlier, I'd casually asked Seth, hey, you good with Excel? He laughed and said, not really, man. I just copy and paste stuff until it looks right. Perfect. The next time Seth handed me a stack of spreadsheets, I smiled. Sure thing, Seth. I got it. But this time, I wasn't just doing the work. I was setting a trap. I embedded hidden formulas deep inside the spreadsheets. Nothing too obvious. Nothing that would immediately scream sabotage. Just subtle little tweaks that would completely scramble the data if someone didn't know what they were doing. Copy and paste? Boom, nonsense. Try to fix one cell? Another would break. It looked normal, until it didn't. I spent hours making sure it was airtight. Meticulous. Like an artist crafting a masterpiece. Not of beauty, but of chaos. And the best part? If you knew Excel, you could spot the issue in seconds. But Seth couldn't tell a pivot table from a picnic table. Deadline day. I came in early, calm, coffee in hand. Seth. He waltzed in late, as usual, yawning, phone in hand. He didn't even glance at the spreadsheet I'd finished. Around noon, the client called. And they were furious. This report is a mess. The numbers don't make sense. What is this? I watched Seth's face drain of color. His cocky smirk collapsed. For the first time in 6 months, I saw panic in his eyes. He clicked through the spreadsheet, frantically copying and pasting. But every fix made things worse. Numbers flipped, totals vanished, charts broke. It was like watching a man drown in data. Finally, he turned to me, sweaty and desperate. Dude, I don't know what's happening. Can you take a look? I leaned over, pretending to squint at the screen. Weird, maybe it's some kind of glitch? I don't know, Seth. Try reformatting. He clung to every vague word I said, like a drowning man grabbing driftwood. and I just sat back and watched. By the end of the day, Seth was a wreck. His shirt was untucked, his hair a mess, eyes bloodshot from staring at broken spreadsheets. When our boss came storming in, demanding answers, Seth couldn't spin his usual excuses. He stammered, blamed Excel glitches, but the client wasn't buying it. And here's the beautiful part. My boss didn't even look at me. He looked straight at Seth. "You dropped the ball. This is your project. And you embarrassed the entire team." The verdict? Temporary leave. Without pay. For once, Seth couldn't slither out of responsibility. For once, he had to choke on the consequences of his own laziness. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Because the sweetest revenge isn't loud. It's quiet. It's watching the person who underestimated you finally face reality. As I packed up that evening, I felt lighter. Freer. Like the invisible weight of Seth's freeloading had finally lifted. And the next time I sat at my desk, it wasn't just about the spreadsheets. It was about finally knowing. I stood up for myself. And I won. Seth thought I'd always be his safety net. That no matter how much work he dumped on me, I'd carry it. But when he finally had to stand on his own, he crumbled. And the best part? All I had to do was let him trip over his own laziness. I guess that's the thing about karma. It doesn't always come fast, but when it does, it hits where it hurts. For me, it wasn't just about payback. It was about proving to myself that my time, my effort, my value, it mattered. So tell me, have you ever dealt with a Seth at work? The kind of coworker who lives off your effort? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to read them. And if this revenge gave you chills, smash that like button, subscribe, and stick around for more stories where karma gets served ice cold.